TLDV, AI note maker and video recorder. So where are others? The first rule of preaching is
अक्षत प्रभु का लैब रिपोर्ट है 2 लिखने हैं। अभी तो हम लोग लौटे हैं कोलकाता से। अरे
मूवी
हावड़ा से।
देखने गए थे।
हाँ
कैसा एक्सपीरियंस था प्रभु?
प्रभु डिस्क्राइब ही नहीं कर सकते।
बहुत अच्छा था ना?
बहुत, हाँ प्रभु बहुत बहुत अच्छा था। इस लेवल का एनिमेशन पहली बार देख रहे हैं हम।
आई थिंक इंडिया का अभी तक का बेस्ट क्वालिटी बना है अभी तक का। लास्ट हिस्ट्री में जितना भी कार्टून मूवीज इंडिया ने बनाया है सरपास्ड ऑल ऑफ देम।
प्रभु बहुत इमोशनल कर देता है ये, मतलब प्रहलाद महाराज का जो डिवोशन है वो देखने को
डिवोशन है,
मिला।
बहुत इमोशनल है, मैं देखा हूँ। एक्चुअली मेरा ड्रीम था ऐसा कुछ बनाने का, बट आई एम हैप्पी समवन हैज डन इट। मैं तो लगता नहीं, एक्चुअली कुछ ड्रीम्स ऐसा नहीं कि आपको पर्सनली करना। मेरा ड्रीम था कि मेरे को कुछ ऐसे लोग मिल जाए जिसको मैं आइडियाज दूं और वे लोग कुछ ऐसा कुछ करें। हालांकि अभी भी बहुत कुछ करना है ब्रो, बहुत कुछ। मेरा ड्रीम है भागवतम को भी मूवीज के थ्रू, इस तरह के एनिमेशन के थ्रू, क्योंकि अभी दुनिया स्क्रीन पे चला गया है। एवरीवन इज इन स्क्रीन। द मोर यू शो देम थ्रू स्क्रीन कंटेंट, दे विल क्विकली कैच इट। द ट्रेडिशनल मेथड ऑफ सिटिंग एंड हियरिंग it appears very monotonous for some new beginners. In the latter part of journey of spiritual life, we again come back to the traditional style only, where the disciple is sitting with Guru. But yes, these things have become little prominent. My dream is that I will get some boys who will go into this kind of industry, and I will give the ideas. Bhagavatam is filled with so much action, romance, थ्रिल। ऐसे ऐसे चैप्टर्स है प्रभु, अगर उसको अभी दिखा देंगे ना, अभी तक का जितना भी रोमांस निकला है मूवीज में सब फेल हो जाएगा। स्क्रिप्चर्स है सो मच रोमांस इन इट, द काइंड ऑफ डायलॉग्स आर देयर, देन देयर इज फाइट। आप लोगों ने थोड़ा सा नर्सिंग देखिए, जितना भी एनिमेशन करके दिखा है उतना ही कम है जो एक्चुअली हुआ था। तो यू कैन थिंक ऑफ द मोस्ट वायलेंट ऑफ द वायलेंट ऑफ द वायलेंट ऑफ द सीन्स, still it will be not as in par with what actually had happened. तो अगर आप लोग भी खुद को ऐसा डेवलप करो, एक बड़ा टीम कोई बना सको, प्रोड्यूसर, डायरेक्टर, म्यूजिक कोऑर्डिनेटर, साउंड, एआई, so many technologies will get involved in these activities. Lip sync, VFX, Maya software, Blender, what not. And we all can hope that one day we can make something. So many things can be done. Anyway, so हरे कृष्णा स्मिथ प्रभु। अरे गौतम प्रभु कहाँ चला गया? अभी तो था। रीज्वाइन कर रहे हैं क्या? ओके, गौतम प्रभु स्मिथ प्रभु इज देयर। कैन समवन ब्रिंग शिवम प्रभु? बिकॉज इफ आई स्टार्ट वंस इट इज अ ट्रेनिंग सेशन, आई विल टेक टाइम। इफ 1 आवर मुझे को नहीं मिलेगा प्रॉपरली तो मैं कैसे जस्टिस करूंगा? हरे कृष्णा साहिल प्रभु।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु।
तो प्रतीक प्रभु का क्या केस है? Let me share entire screen. I will show you an image. Let me know if you are able to see. दिख रहा है? स्मिथ प्रभु, गौतम को, you can see.
हाँ दिख रहा है प्रभु।
So second years, can you guess what this image is about? You can see the personalities involved. There's a cow whose legs are broken. And there is a bull. Oh, sorry. There is a cow and there is a bull. The three legs of the bull are broken, and there is another cow also here. And here this person having appearance like a king looks very demoniac. And here is a person who is trying to probably kill him with his sword. And this chariot is there. There is Sena also. And in the image here, it is shown this person. There is four relative principle as intoxication, illicit sex, meat eating, and gambling, casino here. You can see. Can any second year guess what this image is about?
प्रभु जी अत्याचार हो रहा है यहाँ राक्षसों के द्वारा।
अच्छा, राक्षसों के द्वारा अत्याचार हो रहा है। ठीक है, और बताइए।
अब वो मॉडर्न राक्षस भी हो सकते हैं मतलब।
ओके, ठीक है। So I give you a hint. This is a historical event. It's not a fiction image. It's based on a historical event that happened. So this person who is having the sword, this is Parikshit Maharaj, the son of Abhimanyu. You must have heard the son of Arjuna is Abhimanyu. His son is Parikshit. So, and this person is Kali personified. And Kali brings with him the four pillars of sinful life: intoxication, illicit sex, gambling, and meat eating. And dharma is represented by bull. Cow represents earth. After breaking the four legs of the bull is only standing in one leg. So the four legs of the bull, just like there are four pillars of sinful life, similarly there are four pillars of dharma. These four pillars are truthfulness, austerity, mercy, cleanliness. So Kali breaks the four legs. He breaks the leg of cleanliness and establishes illicit sex. Illicit sex is actually against cleanliness. Those who are engaging in illicit sex, they are very unclean. It is an unclean activity. Then mercy, the leg of mercy is broken. So meat eating propagated by Kali. Then another leg, austerity is broken. So sense control, everything is finished, and therefore there is gambling. Therefore there is intoxication. No control over tongue and senses. So intoxication. And the only leg that was about to be broken by Kali, but he could not break it, is the leg of truthfulness, by breaking which he wants to establish gambling, mithya. So just like tapah shaucham daya satyam, therefore dharma is now only having a one tottering leg. This leg is also tottering, it's shivering, anytime it may fall. That is the leg of truthfulness. So Kali Yuga began with Kali entering and breaking, starting cow killing. And as the duty of a righteous king, Parikshit Maharaj came to stop. He saw that this person looking like a king, but his appearance is demoniac. So he represents all the leaders in Kali Yuga. Most of them will be agents of Kali. They have no qualification, but they will wear the dress of leaders. They will decorate themselves like leaders. They will get the post position of leaders, scientists, philosophers, doctors, engineers, mm, president, chief minister, any type of leader, and they will all be promoting these four activities, breaking the dharma, directly or indirectly. That is Kali Yuga. And Parishit Maharaj was about to kill him, that but Kali is very intelligent. He surrenders and says, I am surrendering, you can't kill me. You have to give me shelter, I surrender. He said, why are you here? He said, my age is about to begin. So I have to come and start my work. Parishit Maharaj says, you are not allowed. Get out. He said, but I have taken your shelter, give me some place. Parishit Maharaj says, you stay in a place where there is gambling, intoxication, illicit sex, and meat eating. And Kali says, there is no place in your kingdom where this happens. You are the king of entire earth. Striya Shuna, Dyutam Panam Striya Shuna, Yatra Adharmas Chaturvidha. Wherever there are four irreligious activity, the meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex, you can stay there. Kali says, no, these things are not happening here. Where will I go? Then he gives a fifth place, wherever there is excess gold or money. So therefore, money brings Kali with it, if it is not the money used in serving God. So Kali began with this. Hare Krishna. So like this, you can see there are so many things we can discuss anytime. I thought I would wait for some of other boys to join. So I can see that almost whoever wanted to come, they have come. Pratik Prabhu has already come. Fine. I wanted at least this category. Anish and Shivam, these two guys are remaining. So can someone SMS? I am starting the. I cannot wait more. So just to give you a glimpse, what all things we have in our soldier when he goes for fighting, he should know what type of weapons he himself is possessing. So we also have a lot of things with us, contents. So I have this folder. You see, story. There is stories given by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the Guru of Prabhupada. I have PDF. There are 29 stories, short stories. You can see like this. Krishna Chaitanya's Guide to the Absolute, alone fit to instruct. This is little deep. एक simple वाला उपदेश उपाख्यान कहाँ गया? Yeah, an era. This is more an article based. So this is more like an article based. I had a story collection also. Uh, just a second. Yeah, this one. Upadesh Upakhyan. It's like a comic. Bald man and bale tree. How often does a bald man go under a bale tree? Instructive stories from teachings of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Once a bald man was going to city and happened to walk under a bale tree. By chance, a big bale fruit fell on his head from the tree. Thakas! It hurt me very much because of this bald head. By chance, it hurt me very much because of the bald head. And next day, the same thing happened while he was passing again under the same bale tree. I shall never walk this path. It hurts me because I am bald headed. After a few days, one of his friend was walking along with him and on the same way, and when they had to pass under the bale tree, I will not go that way. Let's turn from here. How often does a bald headed man visit a bale tree and get hurt? Similarly, no one having some bitter experience likes to pass along the same track in his lifetime. Purport: if a lot of people may not follow this very simple example while they suffer many times the same misery in this illusory world, they do seem to be as wise as the seven headed man in the story. An intelligent person comes to his senses from the very first bitter experience of illusory suffering. One who frequently undergoes the same kind of misery is nothing but an example of a most foolish entity. We do same mistakes again and again, suffer the same misery again and again. This is like the height of foolishness. I'm not trying to give a class, I'm trying to teach all of you that how we can always have something to speak in spiritual life. Never fear that we have lack of content and I don't know. You just have to go through once all of these things. You can just randomly open anything. I just close my eyes, let me open what I have, let me see what I just opened. Cracking nuts. What is this? Cracking nuts with a saligram. A landlord once appointed a professional priest for regular offerings to his family. Saligram, you know, saligram is a stone, a special type of stone. It is considered a form of Lord Vishnu. Saligram, Tulsi are worshipped together. I shall worship your saligram very nicely. This landlord daily gives very good stuffs for to his saligram. Now I can enjoy. The landlord used to arrange for the daily offering to some chestnuts for the satisfaction of Sri Krishna. The priest accordingly used to take the chestnuts inside the deity room and close the door as if he were going to offer them to the deity. But actually, in his mind, he's thinking, now I can enjoy. In fact, the priest would use the saligram as an ordinary stone. My God. Convenient for cracking the chestnuts. After cracking them with the saligram, he would eat many of them even before offering. In course of time, his mischief came to light. Sorry. And the landlord then threw him out of by the neck. Purport: those who desire for some sense gratification with self-interest or for liberation without devotional service, or for woman wealth and prestige, usually take recourse to such habits as cracking the nuts with a saligram. One who plans to earn money and fame by performance of Gita and Bhagavatam lectures relating to religion through publication and compilation of religious treatises, organizing congregational sankirtan or offering esoteric mantras simply for his sense gratification may very well be indicated as one who makes an attempt to crack nuts with a saligram. In fact, all professional narrators of scriptural and mythological anecdotes and businessmen like glorifiers of the Lord are trying to crack nuts with saligram, which means that they are using everything offered to Lord simply for their own sense gratification. There are persons who pretend to be living in the association with devotees in a mutt, but are simply looking for facilities for their own self interest and actually make personal use of the society of devotees instead of offering services to such society, and enjoy Lord Krishna's property without slightest interest in offering services for the satisfaction of the Lord. These so called devotees are similar to the professional priests who try to crack nuts with a saligram, and they practice devotional services that are not considered sincere or honest. It is thus said that any prayer to the Lord for religion, wealth, peace, or liberation is tantamount to cracking a nut with saligram. So we have so many content. Then also I show you I have this device answers overall. So many documents. This evolution document, creation by God, refuting Darwin's evolution theory. What are the logic that we have? Evolution notes. Ape man. People talk about missing link. Ape man. That we were not created by God. We but got formed just randomly by chance through some chemical. Miraculously, they say that chemicals combined in a out of many random events, one successful event which will give rise to life happened through chemical combination. Protein which is made up of amino acids, they got formed, and the protein with these amino acids become the basis of life. So many things. All you have to do is just there are some videos also which says about this life processes. Someone pinged me. I don't know what. Is the session being recorded, Prabhu? I think it is being recorded in my. I am trying to get it recorded, but let's see. Who asked this? Huh. Hare Krishna. So now we will be having this as the first session that all of you have to be giving to the first years. It's this Journey of Self Discovery course. In short, we call it JSD. JSD course. So last year we made it for the first time. Otherwise, it was a long 9 session PPT, which we made it concise using 3 session PPT. Search for happiness. So you must know that Atma is made up of Sat Chit Anand, eternity, bliss, and knowledge. So bliss of the soul we try to highlight in this session without telling them exactly directly. But this session is actually highlighting the Ananda, soul's bliss part. Manual of Life talks about why Vedas are the right source for knowing God or reality or the way to live in this world. Why Vedas are the right source. So knowledge. So this is like the knowledge aspect of the soul. That is Chit. And eternity aspect is this: why bad things happen to good people. Because the soul, which is eternal, is right now encased in a body, and the body invites all the bad things in his life, which is challenging its eternal experience by giving temporary existence. Therefore, bad things apparently are happening. So, in this way, in a very indirect way, we are touching the qualities of soul in these 3 sessions. This is to let you know the flow. So, okay, how do we flow from one session to another? First session talks about that as humans, we should do something more to experience the difference from animals and true happiness. So, why, even after all the humans who are all looking for happiness and trying their best, still bad things happen to such people also? Even those who are trying to look for happiness on the level of souls, they are also not an exception to bad things happening to them. Therefore, in our next session, we will discuss about why bad things happen to good people. This is how we should end the first session. And then in this session, we talk about bad things happen. We know the law of karma is basically highlighted in this session. And then we end this session by telling that why, uh, how do we know that which karma will let us not get into bondage, into the dualities of happiness and distress, bad results, good results, they bind us, right? So because of which the bad results come in the form of bad things or suffering. So how do we know what karma, what type of actions will uh, free us, will make us free from getting entangled? This we can know from the timeless words of wisdom from the Vedas. Therefore, the Vedas, which are the manual of life, that will be our next session. Discover the manual of life. And then we talk about discover the manual of life session. And the end we say, now the manual of life which we have decided to discuss about is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And we saw that motivating video at the end where people who are very popular, they are glorifying Bhagavad Gita. And then we say that next session will be directly from Bhagavad Gita, and this will be a very interesting session. Our senior spiritual mentors, he will be personally giving this session, and then the fourth class will be again happening in our Gokul Dham voice in your place center that we have there. So these 3 sessions actually we have to give in 3 groups. As I said, second years will form one group, and other 2 groups will be led by third year and final year boys. So for all of you, this is overview that we have given. So regarding the overview, what we are doing, is everyone clear? If yes, you can unmute and say Hari Bol, or yes, anything.
Hari bol.
Hari bol.
Okay. Now let me start with the first session. Search for happiness. This is our first session, right? So you may understand that in this session there is a very smooth blend of philosophy and kind of life lessons. So more than philosophy, we talk about life lessons which people relate immediately with. We don't bring too many new philosophical topics unless audience is very highly qualified. There's sometimes we get very qualified audience, and this surface level classes they don't like. They want deep. You see, that time, if you feel that the boys are very rich in all their understanding and they are looking for direct Bhagavad Gita talks, you can quote more and more slokas. You can show the slides, but you can refer to Bhagavad Gita, like many times I refer, cross refer, and you can tell them directly about the higher principles, soul, God exists, everything. You can start speaking. So in this topic we basically answer them this 5 topics that who is looking for happiness? The answer is everyone is looking for happiness. Why do we look for happiness? The answer is everyone is naturally made happy. Anandamaya abhyasat. That is a quote. In this class, we have to make some quotes from Vedas or Bhagavad Gita, which I have mentioned in this presentation itself. And if it is not in the presentation, it is there in these notes. So here, like you can see what we. So like in each slide, what you have to speak, I have mentioned here. So this slide, they are like this. You can say that it's a welcome slide. Hello everyone, welcome to the first session of our journey of self discovery course. You know, and then you see this butterfly is given for a purpose. This is to remind you that you begin the session with the icebreaker. What is icebreaker? A story or any event or something thought provoking that immediately catches attention of all the audience and bring them in the same page. Their mind are hovering other places. It comes to this point. So you start this question that once upon a time, you can start this story. Once upon, it speak very emphatically. Once upon a time, there was an there was a fresher. As much you can speak in relation to the boy. If I would give this session to some doctors, who have just get into a medical college, I would say them that once upon a time, a boy from this college, first year, he was very confused about life. He was confused about happiness and distress. Why I'm not getting, why my tempo is down. Use the normal language of IIT, which they relate with. Why I'm not feeling motivated? Why I'm not happy? So he came to some one who is organizing some course like JSD, Journey of Self Discovery. But this time, this boy got into directly in the association of a sage. This boy went to the sage and asked, "Sir, why I'm not feeling happy? I want happiness. I want happiness. I want happiness." See, storytelling means you have to use body language. You have to speak with exaggeration when you are speaking to a new audience. You need to get their attention. You have to speak with little body language and move, do eye contact from left to right. Don't look in the walls. Look into their eyes. Every boy's eyes you should look into. They should see that this person is actually demanding my attention to what he is speaking. That is the way we should see the boys. And always try to keep a gentle smile in your face. When you speak the classes, avoid using the word you. Try to replace the word you as I hope you are making notes. If not, please write it down in your mobile or pen paper. These are not just important in your. See, this preaching is not an experience for service to God. It will also help your personality also grow. You will learn to speak to many big places in a very formal way. In IBM, we had a soft skill training course where they were teaching us some presentation skills. So they asked us to make a group and gave us some topic, technical topic, and we were making that presentation. Every group present. In our group, 4 of us had to speak for 5 minutes. I was the one to speak in the last. So all my other 3 members spoke. When I spoke, I first of all said, first of all, I thank my team members for presenting on this topic, and I gave a one word, one line conclusion. So Mr. A spoke about this. B highlighted the this aspect. C highlighted about this. I would like to speak on this aspect in this context. So and then I started. And in 5 minutes, when I concluded, the judge who was sitting there, he said, "Amazing! You look like you are a teacher or something." I did not say that last 2 3 years I was already into preaching. I had many students whom I give Bhagavad Gita classes. I just say yes, yes, I give some tuitions. And then he said that till now the all the presentation in all the groups which had happened, they were more like a robot. You had your topic, you just spoke and you came out. But when you spoke, you kind of included everyone. You included your team, you included the judge, like everyone was with you. You are with them. Not that you are in the stage and we are far from you. The way you started, everyone felt they are with you. And this is a very good thing to begin with. People appreciate it.
So I was thinking these small things, I didn't need to be taught after coming to job life. Just from second year when I started preaching, so many things I could learn by myself, by dealing with all this. So this point, never use the word you. So all of you, when you come to college, all of you are very eager to know what is the path that will make me a millionaire or billionaire. No, use the word we. So all of us, when you come to college, we look for the path which will make us millionaire, isn't it? Aren't we looking for this kind of? Aren't we excited for this kind of thing? So what does we help in create? What impression does it create? That the speaker is also a part of the audience. He is also related. They belong to the same forum. He's not separating. So this is one important. Don't use you. Use we when you are speaking. So yes, coming to the story. When you share this story, basically in this story we say that a boy who came to the sage, he was looking for happiness, and the sage told him that okay, you want to be happy forever, but before that, I want to tell you the truth about life, and you have to bear that truth. Then only you can be happy. Without you cannot be happy without knowing the truth. And to know the truth, I have to first give you a task. Will you be able to do it? And the boy said, yes, yes, give me the task. And he says, you have to catch this butterfly. There was a butterfly in the nearby flower plant. He was trying to catch the butterfly and he couldn't. He got tired and he just sat down. And interestingly, the same butterfly came and sat upon his nose. And when it sat upon the nose, the sage smiled and said, just see, so this is life. And then we come out of the story and we speak to the boys. Isn't it? Happiness is something like that. We struggle to get it, but it feels that it's a big struggle. And sometimes it comes without even invitation. And then get into the content list. So, my dear friends, today we are going to speak on this very same topic. Such an important thing, basic thing, but yet very less discussed. Happiness. Who is looking for happiness? Why do we look for happiness? How do we look for happiness? What is our experience of this happiness? And how, as humans, we can make a difference? So, this is our session. Let's begin the session. And then we begin the session. So, here you see, I have put here notes. You open this PPT better in your laptops, not in phone. All labs do not show the note section. So see, I have written here. One time a boy went to the doctor telling I have pain in my teeth and unable to speak properly. The doctor took a so so the boy is unable to speak properly because he has problem in his teeth. The doctor took a hammer and hit hard in the knee. The boy yelled loudly and the doctor said problem solved. Earlier you could not speak and now you are able to yell. आप बोल नहीं पा रहे थे अभी चिल्ला पा रहे हो. So this is like a joke. But here the immediately after a joke, what happens? The environment becomes very light. But immediately we have to bring the lesson. What is that? So friends, we never look for suffering. Rather, nobody looks for suffering. So yes, who looks for happiness? Nobody looks for suffering, and everybody looks for happiness. So now, if we play this video, it actually will show a lot of species of life: animal kingdom, birds, aquatics. I'm not playing it entirely here. I will give you the PPT. So here you can show the video, and while the video is going on, you can explain that the one same thing everyone is looking for, be it any species, it's happiness. So think deeply why do people look for happiness? Even in the worst cases of suicide also, the drive for killing the self is to attain peace, freedom from current pressure or suffering. Why do people look for happiness? So this is like our second question. We have already answered who is looking for happiness. So we answered that everyone is looking. Why do we look for happiness? We answer with the help of this quote of Vedanta Sutra, which is there in the presentation. Vedanta Sutra says, Anandamayo Abhyasat. So please speak this word, those who will give this session. Anandamayo Abhyasat. All living beings, it means all living beings are habituated to be happy. Their nature is to be joyful. You know, their nature is to be joyful. So, so just a second. So how do we look for this happiness then? If everyone is looking for happiness, now we go to the next slide. So till now we have covered these 2 points. Any questions regarding this? How will you be presenting? Yes, no? Shall I go ahead? You can say yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, all right. Now we saw this slide, which is very easily going to help you remember what you will prepare. I have made the slides in a way, if you read and heard even once, you can very easily explain them. So this slide talks how we look for happiness. This is the fifth slide out of 18. You can see all the things are already mentioned here. In this slide, first we say that we look for happiness on these 4 levels. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can make them repeat. So first of all, what is the first level in which we look for happiness? Senses. So what is the first level we look for happiness? Yes, everyone please repeat. So everyone say senses. They will say senses. The second level we look for happiness is mind. They will say mind. Please repeat after me like that. You have to ask the audience. The third level we have to people look for happiness or we look for happiness. Don't say you look for happiness. We look for happiness or people look for happiness. Is intelligence or intellect, buddhi. And finally, the fourth level in which we look for happiness is ego, our ahankar. Now, for each of them, this slide is one of the most time-taking slide in this entire presentation, because for each of them you have to give some examples and explain properly. So after you tell the 4 levels in which we look for happiness, you have to again start with senses. How do we look happiness through the senses? So how many senses we have? We have read in our childhood days. We have eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and touch, right? And especially all these senses, they are affected by the powerful force of lust. Lust drives all our senses. So you have to directly hit that main problem every youth faces. That is lust. And then immediately come to the story of King Bhartrihari. Bhartrihari, it is a real story. It's not a fiction. Bhartrihari, you know this story that basically in this story what happens? He was very much attached to his beautiful wife. Out of love, he gave his wife a necklace, and his wife received the necklace, the same necklace the king received after 2 months or after a certain number of days. And then he was thinking, how did I get this necklace? And then he did a calculation. I gave this necklace to my wife thinking that I love her and she loves me. But she had another affair. She gave the necklace to her boyfriend. That boy actually loved another girl. She got that necklace from this boy, and she had affair with probably some other man. And in this way, after many cycles, this girl who received the necklace from some boy, some person, and this girl loves me, and she has given the necklace to me. And then this king, who before this event had compiled 100 stanzas describing the beauty of his wife, which is called Sringar Shatak. After this event, he compiled another sloka, a series of poems, 100 sloka, which is called Vairagya Satak, you know, describing 100 slokas on detachment. So this is a very popular, and one of the sloka that he writes after this event is, sorry, let me show you the notes. So you can also, if you can memorize the sloka, it is good. If not, there is no problem. You can always watch the notes. So you can see I have put here, and you can show them. So my dear friends, let I have put the sloka in the notes. All of you can repeat after me. So now pronunciation might be tough for you. If it is tough, I will send you a recording of this pronunciation. Yam chintayami satatam maisa virakta सापि अन्यमिच्छति जनं स जनोऽन्यसक्तः अस्मत्कृते च परितुष्यति काचिदन्या धिक्तां च मां च धिक्तां च तं च मदनं च इमां च मां च. It says yam chintayami satatam, the girl about whom I always thought about, I always meditated. Maisa virakta, she was totally detached from me. Sapi anyam ichhati janam. She, on the other hand, was desiring some other person. Sajano anya saktaha. And that person is attached to some other girl. Asmat krite cha paritushyati kachitanya. And some other girl has affection for me. Diktamcha, to hell with my wife. Tamcha, to hell with him. Madanamcha, to hell with lust. Imamcha, mamcha, and to hell with this entire event, and to hell with me. So, my dear friends, in this way, happiness in the level of senses is very much misleading. Senses appear to be fulfilling, but at the end, they bring frustration. And some lighter moment you can create by telling this point, that how nowadays when our boys get frustrated, they kill themselves. Earlier in the age of Satyuga, Dwapar Yuga, when people used to get frustrated, even 100 years 500 years back, when they got frustrated, they would write poetry, Sanskrit poetry. Now you have to explain the happiness on the level of mind. So again, my question to all of you, is the point clear about happiness on the level of senses? Hare Krishna. Yes, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Next is happiness on the level of mind. So here you have to explain that mind wants emotional happiness and it wants to absorb itself. Like people who do poetry, they get absorbed. Artists, they create works of art. Some people watch sports online or in the screen. Some people also want to experience. So here some things I have written in the notes, but few things are also in the slides also. Like see here I have written. Uh, See, emotional video games, dating apps, those who are actually they don't want to feel lonely. This this is actually an emotional need, that I want relationship. I want to be cared for. I want some people to talk with me, spend time with me. This is an emotional need. People want to solve that emotional need by sometimes entering into a virtual reality zone. They will watch movies to experience some artificial emotional satisfaction, even to the point of making friends in girlfriends, not just friends, girlfriends or boyfriends. They will make in social media, try to meet them up, and then when they go to meet the girl, they find that it is a 40-year-old auntie, and they take a U-turn. So this is happiness on the level of mind. So in the second part, happiness on the level of mind, you don't have to give many examples. As I said, dating apps, emotional need, you can highlight all these things. The happiness experienced through sentiments, emotional care, love, affection from friends, and but do give the example of dating apps that they will immediately relate. Then happiness on the level of intelligence means the intelligence wants to analyze and experience joy. More tough mathematical problem, you give a problem of physics from Irodov and make it more complicated with involving tough integration. The more the boy feels, oh wow, this question is up to my level. So there are such boys, right? They like complex. So chess, when they play chess, it requires a lot of analysis and they enjoy it. This is intellectual happiness, bliss experience on the level of intelligence. And we share this story of Brooklyn Bridge story. So in this story I have put probably, yes, in the note section. uh, I will show you now. Here it is. Some names I just have to remember. This is the story of 1863. John Roebling. I don't know which spelling is correct. Roebling, yeah. John Roebling was an engineer and he wanted to make a bridge from New York to Manhattan, a 486-meter suspension bridge. So these small details, they matter a lot. If you can remember, it is fine, or else you can just speak like, without the data. So I will now, you can see the notes and get more data. I will tell you the story. The story was that the Brooklyn Bridge, uh, earlier the government was not very ready to sponsor, but with lot of follow up and his perseverance, he actually got sanction and permission. Many industrialists started investing in this project of making the bridge, suspension bridge. But John Roebling died out of tetanus and some accident which happened in the construction area. He got a cut, and from that he got tetanus and he died. So his son took the project further ahead, became project manager, main engineer. His name is Washington Roebling, but again he was also paralyzed because of entering in a very oxygen less atmosphere. When the foundation was being made for the bridge, they had to dig deep inside the river, and there, due to less oxygen, after spending more time in there, he actually got a paralytic disease, and his only two fingers he could move. But his intelligence was so convinced to achieve this bridge. He, with his two fingers, narrated how he developed a communication mechanism with which he would indicate his wife what to do for the making of the bridge. And his wife became the proxy engineer. She continued the project based on that two fingers communication from John Washington Roebling, and the bridge was constructed. So this is happiness on the level of buddhi. Then we come happiness on the level of ego. It even rejects intellect. Like sometimes egoistic happiness may not have a logical basis. And I have put here the example of knife and scissor. So this example is that in an inauguration of an inauguration event beside a river, which was organized a celebration, two friends were fighting over whether we should use the knife or the scissor to cut the ribbon. So they were fighting, and it became heated quarrel. And finally, the one who was telling that we will use scissor, he was thrown into the river, and he didn't know swimming. And even while he was drowning, he drowned by showing while showing his two fingers like this. I will die, but I will not get convinced against my opinion. So ego surpasses logic also. If someone wants to satisfy the ego, one another example which is not in the notes or written here in the presentation, but it's a very funny example, that a lady, jamindar's wife, became sick. She called for a doctor. Doctor said you have a fever of 100 degree, and then she said my maid servant also has some fever, please check and give her medicine as well. The doctor said, oh my god, she has 104 degree. And the landlady said, you are a useless doctor, you are a no, you are a cheater doctor, you don't know proper medicine. I said, why? He said, how can my maid servant, she can have something more than me? It's me who is the owner of this place. If I should have 104-degree fever, not her. And the doctor was thinking, who is this lady? So ego doesn't see logic. It only sees your opinion. This is what I'm attached to. And we want to achieve it at any cost. So in this way, we see, my dear friends, that we try to get happiness in these four levels. So now from this slide, when we go to the next slide, there is a little, if you are not alert, you may not be able to connect. Like, what is the next slide? It's an activity time. So how do we come to this slide? What do we speak to fill the gap between the previous slide and this slide? Basically, we say that, my dear friends, now we saw that how humans are looking for happiness in the four levels. But actually, animals are also looking happiness in four levels. Therefore, let us do a comparison test. Let us compare humans and animals. I want all of you to answer in some way or other, how are humans better than animals? So generally the common answer you will get, if you little bit push, they may say something, humans are more intelligent, they are more multitasking, they have made big they can make rockets, they can go to moon, animals can't go to moon, all these big things they will say. So you have to bring this in this activity, you have to basically prove this point that other than spirituality, anything they speak, you have to say that animals are doing at par with humans. They are also intelligent, you have to prove it by giving the examples, like wild weavers video is there, spider web making video is there, how spiders webs are very complicated but they make it. Then there are examples, some simple example, that how a cat is very intelligent. It knows that when it wants to drink the milk, it will come in a way that its feet will not create any noise. In a very hideous way, it will enter the kitchen and drink the milk, and the mother will also not know that someone has taken the milk. So we can make this comparison for an interactive session. In this, we want them to speak, and then we, whatever they answer, you have to prove that, you know that animals. You have to quote some examples which glorifies how animals are also special. Eagle can fly high and they can see something as small as a ant in the ground. They have that vision. Very zooming eyes. They can zoom. They have this eyesight. Uh, like dolphins can hear some. They have more hearing. Bats, they have more hearing capacity. Dogs have the ability to smell. So they are very special in certain areas. Someone may say humans can do multitasking. You can show the honeybee example. How in a honeycomb, I have a video which shows that there are honeybees which are supposed to do the activity or task of bringing honey from the flowers. There are honeybees who have the job of gatekeeping. There are honeybees who have the job of feeding food to the larva. There are honeybees who will do cleaning. There are honeybees who are doing construction, repair work. They are making honey chambers. And then there are honeybees who are doing ventilation. With their wings, they will make winds. Is it not multitasking? So the moment you say anything on a material level, you will find that animals and humans are not much different. Therefore, we have Hitopadesh which says this verse, and then you make them all recite. And in a very beautiful tone, you can chant this. You can ask them, you can zoom if they are little far, you know, maybe you can make this much big, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं हो सकता है. And then say ahar nidra bhayamaithunam cha सामान्यमेतत् पशुभिर्नराणां धर्मो हि तेषाम् अधिको विशेषो धर्मेण हीना पशुभिः समानः. What does this mean? That yeah, uh, that nidra, ahar, maithun and bhay, they are common to animal. What are these things? अरे यार, sleeping, sorry, इसमें वो slide नहीं डाल. Nidra means sleeping. Whether we sleep in a comfortable bed, all of you must be. You can tell the freshers. The moment you came, there were sellers selling a very soft bed, right? People are buying. Students are buying best of the bed sheets, pillow, the cushion. Why? Ultimately to sleep. But even with all these arrangements, all of you stay awake in the night. You are not able to sleep. But see the animals, they have their scheduled sleep. They will sleep. See, all of them are principles. You just don't go in the next slide without explaining them. In each of them, spend some 1 or 2 minutes with some interesting examples. Examples help a principle become more easy to understand, and they relate with the principle. The simple principle is this: oh, animals, they also eat, sleep, drink, and be merry. They also have sex, all these things. But if we add examples to explain one of them, each of them, it creates an impact. If instead of telling, oh, they sleeping is common, you can share a story. Like I generally say from my college life, you can say from your college life. I said that in one night when we had a lot of assignments to do, we were in so much load. We had to do night out, a group study, all 4 students in the same room. And then suddenly we saw outside the dogs barking, and then they became silent, and then we could see that how dogs went for sleeping. Then we friends saw and discussed, look at those dogs, they appear so peaceful, they are sleeping. And here we have the most soft bed and the best pillow, still we cannot even sleep properly. Even if there is no assignment, somehow or other our mind becomes sometimes so hyperactive. So in sleeping also, animals appear to be better than us. And if not, even if we are sleeping with the best of arrangements, my dear friends, ultimately we are sleeping. Similarly, you can tell the example of ahar. Generally, what example I give? I give the example of advertisement of some biscuit. How some restaurant may be propagating. Here, if you come and take this biscuit, you tear the packet, take the biscuit out, put it in your mouth, take the first bite, and there is a cracking sound which comes out. and the particles of biscuit falls out, and the cream you taste within those biscuits, and then there is a volcanic eruption in your heart of a chocolate, and you get into a chocolatey existence, and then you are immersed in this bite, and then what happens? A big bill comes. Sir, this is the bill for the biscuit. So, dear friends, no matter how romantic we make our eating, ultimately it's an eating activity only. So, see, the same thing I'm explaining, but I'm giving some graphical examples which they will be able to visualize. So, this training will help you in your presentation. As I said, when you in future also give any presentation, remember storytelling and examples are more important than direct principles. Direct principles are important for serious, dedicated. So, all of you have come to second year. Now, the classes which I will taking for your nourishment, I will be speaking more principle oriented classes, more deeper classes, and this kind of simple things will become very eating, sleeping, mating, defending will become very normal, explanation. But for a first year, this making it graphically accessible in their mind, it's very important. Then, bhai, you can say that animals have fear. We also have fear. How do animals have fear? You can tell that when a dog or a bird they eat their food, they see left and right because they're afraid someone will attack. They're insecure. We also feel insecure. Someone will take our seat. Someone will take away that vacancy. Someone will take away the job. Someone will take the bed, best good bed in this room. There is a cutthroat competition and which creates an insecure environment. And to solve this insecurity, people are doing health insurance, life insurance. In their home, they are putting cameras and security guards and dogs and use weapons, machine guns, tanks, missiles. In all levels, we express our fear through this defense. We try to defend to fear, save ourselves from our worst fears. Animal society also they have their own defense mechanism to save themselves from their fears. They have claws, they have uh, uh, their sound, barking sound, and their sharp teeth. They may shout a lot. They have sting. They can sting like poisonous snakes and scorpions, with which they secure themselves. And what to talk of sex life? Animals are much better than us. There are pigeons who can have more sex than humans. More than 12 times they can have sex. You, they can have much more than that. In 1 hour they can have 12 times, dozen times they can have sex. Humans do not have that much capacity. But if we become proud of our success, but in the bottom line we are doing these four activities, we are not much big. So therefore, next session will combine the previous slides in this slide. So now four things we discussed, four levels in which we seek happiness, and four activities in which uh, animals and humans are not at all different. This do not create a big deal. In fact, the experience of these four things, like pleasure on the four levels, or these four basic activities, what is our experience of it? So, as I always hold to the contents. In the contents, what were the five topics or four topics or five topics? Four topics, I think. Who is looking for happiness? Why is everyone looking for happiness? How do we look for happiness? And then how do we create a difference? I think, yeah, how do we create a difference? So now we are moving towards how do we uh, look for happiness. What is our experience? Sorry, what is the experience of this happiness that we are seeking? So happiness through these four levels or in this four activity, what is our experience? This we will learn through an acronym which will learn. So PARIS and fly, Paris fly. So P stands for painful. So it's 8:32. I will not continue the session further. I will keep the training here only. So Chirag Prabhu, can you continue the session tomorrow sometime for this part, or maybe मैं ही ले लूँगा. It's important. Only, by the way, only 7 minutes. Let me conclude little fast. हो जाएगा. All of you are comfortable in. I will take more 5 minutes. I will speak little fast.
Yes,
If
sir.
you are
Yes,
doing,
no problem.
let us complete it. Otherwise, na, anything incomplete remains always incomplete. So, what is the experience of happiness experienced in these four levels and four activities? First, it is painful at times. And then this verse I have already put. You can recite it. You can say Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, 22nd verse says, Ye hi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayo naya evate adi antavanta kaunteya nate shuramate buddha. That just explain this much part. Don't explain the whole sloka. It will become more philosophical. It says samsparsaja bhoga. Bhoga means enjoyment. Dukkha means pain. The moment there is bhog, pain immediately is born. It's like two face of the same coin. One cannot have the other part without having the one part. So sense gratification on the four levels or these four activities actually is painful. The moment you enjoy it already gives birth to, it's like an itch. If you feel that itching gives you pleasure, actually it also creates more bloody effect. Your skin is more torn apart. That pleasure that we experience through sense gratification or these four activities or four levels of enjoyment, they are like this itching. Addictive. You know, every smoker thinks that they will start smoking or drinking to enjoy, but actually after some time they don't drink or smoke just to enjoy. Did someone put something in the chat box? Okay, nothing. So addiction, how it affects a person, starts this activity of sense gratification with the hope of pleasure, but after some time they don't do it for pleasure, they do it for relief. Cigarette they smoke, earlier they thought that they are making a good impression in others, but after some time they don't smoke to be happy. Actually they smoke just they because they can't give up smoking. It creates headache, so it's called withdrawal pain. They get so, some boys get so addicted with smartphone reels. If they are not watching the reels, they feel irritated. To just get relief from the irritation, they again watch the reels. Getting relief is not pleasure. This is a misunderstanding about pleasure. This is how addiction affects us. And one who becomes a slave of addiction understand that slaves can never be happy. And here one word I have written sentence, nectar in the beginning but poison in the end. So आज के सेशन में मैं कुछ चीज ऐसा बोल रहा हूँ जो कि नोट्स में भी नहीं है, और नोट्स में कुछ चीजें जो कि मैं बोल नहीं रहा हूँ. Therefore both this will help you, the notes in the slides and what I'm speaking now. Best is you can try to hear what I'm speaking now, make notes, some small notes, and also the notes associated with each slides, and then you can make your presentation. Okay, R stands for risky. You know, some boys from Kharagpur, they plan to go to Kolkata to prostitution center, thinking that they have freedom, they have money, they are rich, they are coming from rich background, and who knows, you know, after coming to college, if someone is not drinking, smoking, and having sex, now what is the use? But when they came to Kolkata, they got caught by police, and such a bad name they brought to the college and to the family. Or you can also say that sometimes boys get into illicit sex in holidays and all this happen. And what is the result? Sometimes girls become pregnant, they have to commit suicide. You can cite, I think many of you know or don't know, in the holidays when the supplementary exams were going, I heard that one boy committed a rape in your campus, raping a minor girl who would come to empty the dustbin or something. I don't know how many of you know it. Your seniors were telling me. And he went to the jail also for this administration. I don't know it. I think it did not become much popular. See where IITians are going, you know, to hell with such so much education, the basic character is finished. So much risk is taken to just have some 2 minute pleasure. So this example you can just give, how sometimes taking drugs end with overdose and death. High speed biking to make some YouTube reels, they get in accident and die. It's like honey smeared on a sharp edge of a razor. अगर ब्लेड के ऊपर मधु लगा के देंगे, चाट के बोलेंगे चाट, कितना मजा आएगा. The honey will soon turn into blood. So it's very risky. इल्यूजरी बेटा, सामने 56 भोग रखा है, गरम समोसा, चाउमीन, पास्ता, पुलाव, बिरयानी रख दिया, और उसके बाद फोन आया दोस्त का, बेटा तू फेल कर गया है. Entire pleasure element finished. There is a shock element now. वो जा नहीं रहा अंदर. So even with everything, people like Ravan and Hiranyakashipu, they who became the ruler of the entire uh, universe, they were disturbed. As long as our mind and senses are not controlled, any so-called object which we start attaching emotions of deriving pleasure out of it, they will not give us pleasure. Or you can say that today this smartphone is so alluring to you. After 1 year of use, it becomes boring to you. The object is there, but the pleasure element is finished. So this object of happiness, therefore, is sometimes this type of pleasure. They can be very much illusory, stale. What is stale? It's like I'm chewing a chewing gum and giving you, sir, you also chew the same chewing gum. That means what? People in the previous history have experienced all the problems associated with happiness, attempt to be happy in these four levels or four activities. They have all entered a miserable experience, but everyone promotes the same: have sex, drink wine. They do not say have AIDS, spoil your liver, but they will say have sex and drink wine. But the result is this. So same thing. It's like this five paisa circus. How many of you know the five paisa circus story? You should ask like this to the story students. And by chance, if this someone say yes, yes, I know. So very good. Others don't know. I will tell you for. I will tell you the story, and then you tell the story. What is five paisa circus? It is basically the story that tells you that I have suffered the problems and I want others also suffer, just to be common. When same problems happens with everyone, we feel less miserable. When there was fire event happened in LBS, that place where people boys kept luggage, I asked one of the students, what all things you lost? He said, "Prove very important books, documents, and some important gadgets. They were all burnt to ashes." I said, "Don't you feel bad?" He said, "No." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because all my friends, they also lost everything." So in this way, we sell the suffering that we got, and that is very pathetic. The five paisa story goes like this: five paisa circus story. In a village, there was this boy who was told by his friends, "My dear, you can ask some boy's name, and best is in audience, you tell the name of the boy and use those names in the stories, so that they will become, alert. Hey, my name is quoted." There's some small tidbits to help you in your presentation. You can tell. So Sahil once was told by Gautam that Gautam comes to say in Sahil, "Sahil, have you gone to this particular market in this place? क्या है? Little Sister shop." Actually, I heard that today in just five paisa. In five paisa, they're allowing you to go for a 1 hour circus show. It is wonderful circus show. Sahil, I ask you, please believe it. Just go and watch this circus. Only five paisa circus. Sahil becomes curious. Wow, five paisa circus, five paisa circus. Oh, let me check it out. And he goes there. The moment he goes, his two big bouncers are standing. What do you want? I have come to five paisa circus. He said, "Oh, you are also a five paisa circus candidate. Please come." And he goes inside. And what happens? These two bouncers give him for 1 hour nice thrashing, beating. His eyes became dark, lips became swollen, and his there are big balls in his cheeks, and he's holding his hand. Oh, what kind of circus it was! I myself became a circus. Whole body, every bone probably has become double because they have broken, it seems. So after 1 month, he becomes healthy and he feels that why should I alone only get beaten? I'll also tell others who don't know. And then he goes out and tells, "My dear friend, oh Smith, have you gone to five paisa circus?" And what is this? Selling the same stale food. So these pleasures of sex, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and on the level of senses, mind, intelligence, ego, they have always been proven the same in the history. Still, we promote it and we buy it. You know, this is stale. It's bossy. You know. And finally, my friend, if someone say, "I'm a very good person, I don't have any bad habits, I don't have any problem with material objects, I can have a regulated life, nothing doing with God and spirituality, yes, no problem, they don't matter much in my life. But else, I am very alert, I don't take any intoxication also." For them, there is an alert. The time is not in their control. All the things that he's trying to get achieved and experience happiness through, ultimately they fly away with time. So we have an option in this life whether we want to invest in something temporary or something permanent. So yes, this is our experience, my dear friends, and then you can show this, you know, Paris fly slide to again. इसमें क्या होगा आपको पूछना है. So all of you please repeat after me. What does P stands for? So someone will remember, someone will not remember. So you have to make them all remember. So everyone say painful, they will say addictive, they will say risky, they will say illusory and stale, and finally flies away. Now the conclusion. How do we make a difference? And then this is the last slide. You can see there's a tractor and there is a, what is this? मैं भूल गया कौन सा कार था? BMW था शायद. So there's a BMW and there's a tractor. So once upon a time, a farmer, he saved all his finances to impress his wife and children that one day he will buy a Ferrari. So this is a Ferrari, sorry. So finally he got a Ferrari. So he told his family, please come, I have got a Ferrari. So he took his wife and children in the Ferrari, but he took the Ferrari right into the agricultural field. And his wife said, are you crazy? This Ferrari is not for the fields, it's for the highways. And the farmer said, what to do? I was only habituated in the fields because I always drove tractors, never a Ferrari. And now get it out. I said, sorry, sorry. So what does this example show? That human life is like this Ferrari, which is supposed to take us to a very far destination, a long journey with a high purpose. And the activities of eating, sleeping, mating, defending, they're the basic activities. Seed, see, tractor is for sowing seed. SWD, sleeping, enjoying sex, eating, and D for defending, right? So seed. Uh, we can do much. Our human life is like a Ferrari. So remember, A, B, C. This is the difference we can make. A, we have as humans the ability to respond and not react. You know, we can think before we react, unlike the animals. Animals, when they get the urge to satisfy their senses, mind, intelligence, and ego, they will satisfy that urge without thinking. But we can think before we act. So A stands for ability to think, react, respond, not react. B stands for bliss experienced on the level of soul. We are soul and we can access the happiness of the soul as human beings. It's possible in human form of life. About this we will discuss more in our next sessions. Going to the point C, C stands for the choice. Human life, we have the choice whether we can change our opinions and improve, or whether we continue the way we always thought and remain in the same level. So C means choice to open ourselves to learn new things. This is the way we can make a difference. So now, my dear friends, we have a question. Even though we all apply this ABC in our life, we see still that everyone still faces misery and suffering. So this question, why do bad things happen to good people, is it's going to be our next topic. Please hold on and be curious. Maintain your enthusiasm. Thank you very much. Good evening. And then you can conclude the talk.
Hare
Any
Krishna,
question
Prabhu.
anybody has?
No question, Prabhu.
अरे भाई
Welcome you.
आपको नहीं पूछना है, मतलब बच्चों से पूछना है आपको. मैं क्लास नहीं दे रहा था, आपको ट्रेनिंग दे रहा था. भूल गए क्या? क्लास के मूड में आगे लगता है आप. Okay. So any questions as a speaker you want to learn or know? Okay, so I will give you the sessions and you prepare it nicely. Saturday, 2nd August, we are targeting. And regarding preaching, let me close this recording first. कैसे close होता है ये?